Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel, and once again thanks very much for clicking on another video. As always, a quick look at the equipment that I'm using. My usual setup, FX Impact M3 in .25, 700mm barrel. It's got the Wulf 4K day-night electronic scope on the top, and keeping it all steady is the Bog Death Grip carbon fibre tripod. Now this is a video that I took quite a long time ago of me setting up my hide. It's a one-man pop-up hide that I took a video of me doing this but didn't use on one of my previous videos. But I thought I'd pop it in on the beginning of this one, because if it wasn't for this hide I wouldn't have been out shooting today, because the weather has been absolutely terrible in the UK. I live in the southwest of England and it's basically been miserable, wet, for the last few weeks, all over Christmas. And this pop-up hide is a brilliant bit of kit, really quite inexpensive for what it is. It's got a built-in seat, as you can see there, and that seat is really comfy. I can sit in that hide for hours, and it just pops up. Lean it over. At the back there's a couple of tubes you just line up to keep the back sturdy. That's what I'm just doing there. But the whole point of me showing this really is this hide serves a few purposes. Of course the main thing is it keeps you hidden from all the wildlife and the surroundings and so on, and it does a really good job of that. But secondly, it actually keeps you quite warm, because it keeps all the wind and the breezes out that make you feel very cold. But definitely, as it is today, it kept me really dry, and it's not designed in any way to be waterproof, I don't believe, and it isn't waterproof. I do get a few drips and a few runs down the inside, but basically it does keep me extremely dry. So I just thought I'd show you this hide, because as you'll see later on the video, it was an absolute miserable day, but I still managed to sit out for a few hours even though it was miserable. So once I've got the hide set up, I get me Death Grip bipod out, and I set that out obviously just in front of me, and you can see I'm adjusting the legs. It's got 3 positional legs. I get them all the same, and then I just set the tripod out in front of me, 2 legs sort of facing back towards me to give it a room, and the one facing forward, just like that. And then it's just a matter of getting the height set up, so just extending the legs to where you think it is, and then finally tuning them to the sort of right height for sitting in the hide and shooting the gun off of, and you'll see me sort of doing that in a minute. But this this tripod has a spirit level on the top, or a spirit bubble I should say, on the top, and you'll see me looking at that. And it's quite critical really that you set it up level. It's easy to get it up level because of the adjustable legs, but this bipod has no cant to it, so getting it level is quite critical. So it swivels to the left and to the right obviously, and up and down, but if you haven't got it set level, if you do sort of swivel full left or full right, then you add a cant into it, so it's quite important that you get it level. And you'll see me looking at the bubble that's on the head of the tripod, and just getting it all set up, just checking my setup and so on there, getting it in a relatively right sort of position. You can see I'm just finely tuning the legs to get it level now. But basically once I've got the hide all set up and I'm sat in the hide with it all unfolded and zipped up, I can still reach everything, and I just fine tune it perfectly. I even often shimmy the hide sort of to the left or the right to get the gun and the tripod just in the right seating position for me. But it's a brilliant bit of kit, and I sat out in the freezing rain, pouring rain today, and it kept me perfectly dry, and you'll see a bit of that sort of footage to come. So once I've got everything relatively sort of set up like this, and that hide pops up in seconds, and it also folds away, almost just as easy. I put my bag in between the legs of the tripod with the top open, so I can get anything I want straight out there, like my flask or my rangefinder, binoculars, whatever. Anything I want to just grab is right in front of me. And yeah, it's just a great bit of kit. And when it's opened out, you've got just enough room to be really comfortable inside, more than enough room to be comfortable, and it served me really well and continues to serve me really well. As you can see, when it's fully out, covers you up quite well and certainly protects you from the elements, and that's exactly what it's done today. Now this is the weather a little bit later on, and you can see why I was so glad I had the hide with me. It actually kept me dry all day. It was raining like this all day, and actually later on today like this it got really cold and snowed and rained at the same time, so I've got sleet going on here. But yeah, you can see why I showed that bit about the hide. It did a great job of keeping me dry and warm today. Now this is the first shot of the day on a pheasant, and I was hoping to get a couple of pheasants or so, because it's the beginning of January now, and the pheasant season ends at the end of January, beginning of February, so I'm hoping to get out a couple of times before that and pick up the last few pheasants. So this one was mulching around to my left hand side, and I was hoping it was going to come over straight in front of me towards the feeder, but it didn't. It started moving away, so I thought it was time to see if I can take it. And you'll see this first shot is actually a miss, which you'll see when I do the slow motion one. So I need a follow-up shot. It doesn't actually catch it, that shot, but I'll give it a body shot, and that's what a 2.5 JSB 26 grain Hades does at 50 foot-pounds of energy. Dropped it on the spot, heart and lung at the back, and it expired straight away just there. So I'll show you the close-up of that, and this is it slowed right down, and you'll see he turns and faces me as I take the shot, and the shot just plucks a few feathers as it grazes him there, and he scarpers off. But here's the follow-up shot, and I'll slow it right down so you can see the impact of that 0.25 Hades. Drops him on the spot, has a few little shakes, and expires straight away there. Now this squirrel caught me totally unawares, no idea where he came from, just popped up right there, so I dropped straight on him, quick as I could, headshot, and off he goes doing the squirrel breakdance, and he expires right there behind that log. So I have a quick look around, because I have no idea where that squirrel suddenly came from, and I haven't seen any squirrels actually here for quite a while, and I normally come in the mornings, and that's why I decided to come in the afternoon to see if I could spot any. The feeder is almost empty again, just a sprinkling on the bottom. The feed's still going down at a rate of knots. I filled it up about a week ago, and it's pretty much all gone. So something's eating it, but I suspect the birds, as I'll show you a bit later, are certainly having their money's worth, if you like. So let's take a good look at that last shot, slowed right down for you. Now, I've paused this start of the video here so I can explain what I'm doing taking this shot. Now, I've been watching this squirrel for about 30 seconds, just caught my eye on the very far right hand side, and I think it saw the squirrel that I'd already shot on the floor there, and instead of coming over towards the feeder, it's jumped back up the tree. So I thought I need to take a shot before it disappears. But he's actually too far to the right. If I swing the rifle round, I can't see it with the scope. I lose vision out of the small window that's in the hide. So what I've actually done here is I've grabbed the rifle and tilted it, still attached to the tripod, to the left hand side, and I'm actually taking this shot left handed, and the rifle and the tripod is tilted to the left, which doesn't truly show in the video because the crosshairs just look dead straight as they always do in the video, but I'm actually tilted quite far over to the left hand side watching this squirrel. The rifle's still fixed in the tripod so I can keep it really steady, and again, it's only about 20 yards away, so the tilt doesn't make too much of an effect. And as you see, as I continue the video now, you can see we get a good shot at this one. So that one expires right at the base of that tree, and I'll show you a slow motion of that last shot coming up now. So here's a few clips that I took while I was sat there later on in the day, and you can see all the birds, small birds that are coming to the feeder, which is really good. But I'm just wondering whether it's the birds that are taking the majority of this feed, because the feed's definitely going down at a rate of knots. I fill it up and almost a week later it's almost gone. Now there is a ramp inside of that feeder, so it's not all hollow, if you understand what I mean. There's a small ramp that pushes the feed towards the front, so it takes maybe a quarter of the volume of what you're looking at there away, but still it's an awful lot of feed that seems to be disappearing. But it's really good that it's helping out all these birds. There's that woodpecker again. See a nice variety of small birds, helping them out during the winter and so on there. And I'll have to keep coming back, but I've shot an awful lot of squirrels from here, and they've thinned right down, so I might have to leave the squirrels for a bit. Hopefully come back and get a couple of pheasants, and well, see how it goes. I'd like to say thanks to everyone who has clicked on all my videos in the past sort of 6 months or so that I've started this channel, and especially thanks to everyone who subscribed to the channel. I only started this channel after being in lockdown and stuck in home, and then being put on furlough, stuck at home, and then even losing my job and having plenty of time, and watching YouTube, watching all these channels and thinking, that looks good, I could do that, I could possibly share my experiences and so on with that. So it's been quite an experience for the last 6 months, and just to wish everyone a happy new year and hope we all have a much better year than we've had in the last couple of years. So here's looking forward. Thanks everyone. Now here's a picture I took on the day, and you can see the barrel's wet and the air cylinder's wet, but everything else inside the hide's nice and dry and snug. Now normally at this point when I pack up, I take a video of what I've been doing and what I've shot, and have a quick chat about the experience that I've had of that day, let's say. But the battery on my phone died really quickly. It turned very cold, and the battery went from like 70% down to 19%, and then down to like 1% in the space of like 30-40 minutes. So yeah, the phone just died. So I'll leave you with a few pictures that I did manage to take of the hide when I got out of it, and it's actually soaking wet, but you can see how effective that hide was actually of keeping me dry.